Huzzah! I am Monk, your host. Welcome to PIDCAST episode 21. Say hello to my co-host and fantasy queen, Fitouri.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jersey Release Day.
And I'm here with the guy who has never tripped upstairs, Matt.
That's categorically untrue. I got these pair of flip-flops to go tubing in, and Amos, my dog, did like a perfect bite out of the big toe of one of them, but I'm stubborn, so I still tried to wear them, and going upstairs was basically like putting my life in my own hands. It was dangerous.
Yeah, I wouldn't put my life in your hands either. It's okay.
You've put your life in my hands many times, and you're still here.
But did you die?
Pixar, it didn't happen.
This week we'll talk about transfers and departures in our Pidder Chatter, recap this past double game week, including an explosive win at home against Vancouver, chit chat with Jordan Rothrock, and review an epic double game week in Fantasy Fitouri, and then preview our upcoming match in Philly. What's going on in Pidder Chatter?
Well, for starters, male Yanks dicks. It has been officially announced that the American boys will be hosting the Socceroos of Australia on October 14th at 7 p.m. at our very own Dick's Sporting Goods Park. It will be a game of particular importance for our goalkeeping room in what we are hoping will be Zach Steffen to get the start as he vies for his World Cup spot once more. And at home against goalkeeping coach and cool summer hat wearer Chris Sharpie's countrymen. And
Ouch. Sorry, isn't that right towards the end of our season where we're hoping to make our playoff push?
It's going to work out. It's going to work out. It fits in between the fixtures where I don't think Zach misses any time.
Okay. He's allowed to play, but he's not allowed to wear purple. Anyways, speaking of dicks, Chelsea were delayed from hoisting the Club World Cup trophy for nearly 40 minutes after trouncing Paris's Saint-Germain 3-0 in the final at MetLife Stadium. For endless entertainment, go and look up Cole Palmer's trophy reaction videos. And remember, we're doing this again next summer, but bigger.
Oh, man. Yeah, they just danced around for 40 minutes, before they were able to hoist. And I heard it was a replica trophy as well, because someone might have been holding on to the real one. Moving away from that, to be or not to be, rumors broke of an impending return to Ligue 1 and FC Nantes for fan favorite Chidozie Awazim. Chido had 22 appearances and 1 goal for the Canaries in the 2017 to 2018 season on loan from Porto. As an aside, Chido is a wonderful person, and I think this move is best for the person, the player, and the Awazim family. Without further details, I'd be willing to speculate this also speaks to the club's character and the Rapids' willingness to do right by such a big piece of the roster makeup. First reported by L'Equipe, which means we can pretty much take this as fact, and it'll give me another reason to watch Ligue 1 once it starts back up, because every time I buy a jersey, that player gets a summer transfer to Ligue 1. Last year, I got the one flag with Moise Bombito, summer transfer to Nice. This year, I got the Headwaters with Chido Awazim, summer transfer to Nantes. So I'm just racking up.
So we should have gotten a Cabral jersey, is what you're saying.
Hey, we'll get to that.
Well, we've learned the trick. I've shared with you all, but I have a coffee mug of me taking pictures with both Acosta and Baji, both of who were off the team within 3 months of those pictures being taken. So I'm not allowed to take pictures with players we like. Matt's not allowed to get jerseys of players we like.
I don't curse anybody.
I was chatting with someone. I was like, I'm planning on getting Balboa on the new third kit, so he better download Duolingo because he's a center back, and I send them to France when I put them on my back.
There it is.
Yeah. In other departure talk, Kevin Cabral was once again absent from training, fueling rumors of a potential move from the team. We have nothing to report at this time, but I do want to take a moment to touch on something. Regardless of what you may think of Kevin's contract, the Rapids taking it on, or Kevin's performance in Burgundy, Kevin has been nothing but fantastic to us in all of our interactions. He has shown flashes of dynamism, and whether it is remaining in Burgundy or wearing another badge, I wouldn't count out Kevin coming good on the pitch. Either way, we're all humans watching humans that have been scouted and signed by humans. I would ask that you remember that always. And if you're the type to cut down someone in our colors, be it on the way in, at, or out, then it says far more about you, and that's what gets noticed.
I think that just generally he has been a topic of conversation all season, and it is notable that he has been missing now for a minute. So I think we're all anticipating more information soon on that. I think the spot on the roster would be a helpful spot, and it'll be interesting to see what the team does with that spot.
Coach, last game before the transfer deadline, everyone knows the business of men coming and going. This might be the last time we see a few Rapids in Burgundy. Can you talk about the human side of sharing these teams and these times with players' lives?
Listen, we talk a lot about the human side of this whole thing, what it's all about, which then means we talk a lot about our fans. We talk a lot about the human sides, and then we talk about the relationships that are, nurtured and once guys step in that door. That's players to coaches, coaches to coaches, coaches to other staff members, and we don't take that lightly. That it can be fleeting moments at times, are moments and privilege to influence these guys. So inevitably, I think if I'm doing my job right, you get to know the person behind the footballer, which makes it such a blessing to be in this position. It all does also make it difficult at times, but we often don't focus on that side of it. When guys leave, it's part of it, and we hope that we've touched each other's lives in a way that we remember each other along the way and stay in touch the whole bit. So yeah, we try to appreciate what we're doing in real time. Again, that's talked about deliberately around here, because through good times and bad times, it's always the best when you're going through it with guys left and right of you, and you're in it together.
KTLNCH. DNVR will be hosting the Rapids away watch party and official kit launch event. And that is for the Seattle match that is today at the time you're hearing this, hopefully, or yesterday if you're late listening to the podcast for some reason. Hopefully you didn't miss it, though. Also going on likely right now from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., there's an archive kit pop-up shop at the Dick. So if you want to sneak in and get that jersey early, make sure you head to the Dick. Otherwise, you can go to DNVR to watch the game and see the official kit launch. And hopefully we will be getting those 3 points at Lumen.
Oh, yeah. I think we're getting 3 points in Lumen. Speaking of points, R2V2 picked up 2 points Sunday night. Colorado Rapids 2 took on Vancouver Whitecaps 2. It didn't end in a 0-0 draw, but the Rapids 2 got a result through an 8-round PK shootout. Adam Beaudry was lights out, saving 2 PKs after keeping a clean sheet. I will note that he also wore the green goalkeeping kit Sunday, as Zach did on Saturday. So I guess green equals clean. Zach talked about the post-game green getting some juice. So I think we can probably lend some credence to that. I thought Sidney Wathuda and Anthony Garcia were absolute spark plugs on the creation side of things. And then Charlie Harper and Kofi Sinanu got the tandem start at center back and were a particularly strong pairing. R2 exercised their shootout demons, winning their first shootout this season, moved up to second place in the table, and will be traveling to Tacoma on Saturday to meet with the Defiants. In other news, not without its natural drama, the penalty shootout featured an extra element of angst when an ambulance pulled just off the field to the left of the goal. R2 forward Bilo Giap was taken to a local hospital with a concussion and a broken tooth after taking a boot to the head around the 80th minute. We received the all good from Bilo later that evening, and I saw him today at training doing cardio and playing a little soccer tennis. Our thoughts go out to Bilo and his new hockey smile. We hope to see him soon because he's a blast at the 9 for R2.
Glad to hear that a little roughed up, but he's mostly okay.
Yeah, you could tell who like the old school people in the organization were because we talked to Coach Eric Boucher and I also talked to Brian Crookham. And those guys just seemed completely unfazed by a guy taking a cleat to the face and getting a broken tooth and bloodied mouth. They're like, oh yeah, that's old hat. That happens all the time. Kid'll be good. Yeah.
He doesn't
They're
need
young,
those
they
for
bounce back.
playing.
Yeah.
Well, should we move on? Thanks for the Pidder Chatter, Matt. And it's time now for our LAFC recap. So, in our first of two games this past week, Rapids took on LAFC away at LAFC this past Wednesday. As we discussed last week, Rapids went into this game winless at the LAFC stadium, and winless they remain. After a tough red card in the 6th minute, Jackson Travis was removed from the field, and Rapids went down to 10 players. LAFC was able to hold the Rapids scoreless for the rest of the game and found the back of the net themselves 3 times within 20 minutes of play. The first, a penalty by Denis Bouanga in the 42nd minute, and then 2 more goals in the 48th and 59th. We knew this game was going to be a hard one, and it turns out the Rapids tried to play it on expert mode by going almost the entire game down a player. Still a hard loss, and I'm sure we all have a lot of thoughts. So what are y'all thinking?
That was a BS red card. I'm sorry. I know that technically since he gave it a red card initially, it was hard to overturn by VAR. I still think they should have done it, but he shouldn't have given a red card directly. He should have gone yellow or even gone and looked at VAR himself, right? Let VAR do their job. He didn't have a good angle there. He immediately pulled out a red that early into the game. Like, there didn't seem to be any malicious intent in the movement at all. So just go for it immediately without a thought was just unacceptable and honestly unprofessional from a center referee. I got to give us credit, though. We went till the 42nd minute, and then they still had to have a PK to put it in the back of the net before half. Like, that was some solid play, even with 10 men for us there. And they still got what I would say might be a little soft penalty. Reviewing it a couple of times, like, I can get where it came from. But again, we're down a man. Maybe give us a little benefit of the doubt on that. Like, you keep punching us until they get the lead, apparently.
Yeah, I think you're spot on that red, Monk. I think that should have been given as a yellow. And then if that needs to be escalated, VAR gets the opportunity to look at the angles and escalate that. But by being so far away, giving that an auto red, you really make it hard for VAR to find an angle that is undeniable proof to rescind that. What's even worse is the Rapids appealed that decision, and it was upheld by the MLS officiating committee. So Jackson was still suspended for a game. He got fined for excess time to leave the field. So his wallet's definitely a little bit lighter. And personally, I think 10 times out of 10, if you're Jackson, you're a little bit smaller than Sergei Palencia, you're tracking the ball, you go up, you see Jackson's arm doesn't really come out until it's a tool once his body makes contact with Sergei Palencia, and he's going for the ball the whole time. Sergei gets an Oscar. Smart player, I guess, for falling down and acting like he had just gotten his nose broken, when I would bet so much money that he got a forearm to the chest.
Yeah, I agree. I watched it many times trying to find any good angle. And honestly, I think part of it was that the players were moving so fast that the falling felt dramatic, but that's just going to happen anytime players collide at a high speed.
Yeah, the Bouanga one was soft as well. We talked to Maxu after the Vancouver game, and he thought that it was a smart play by Denis, who was looking for contact.
I felt like he was seeking my leg, and he was smart. But yeah, the referee, he gave the penalty, so there was a penalty, and we are moving on from that. It doesn't matter. We got the 3 points today, so we are fine.
If you are an offensive player and you put the ball through the meat grinder and then try to put your body through it, I don't think it's the meat grinder's fault for existing. Like, there were 2 legs already there, and Bouanga shrewdly got a soft contact foul for the PK to thwart what Monk said was a really strong stand by the Rapids down a man.
I just hate feeling a game that, like, we're already going to struggle, right? We know we struggle in that stadium. We're on the road. Our form's been a little bit shaky. And then just to go in and have the ref be a huge deciding factor in that first half, that's just, I hate the way that is. Like, that's just not the way soccer should be.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks because, like, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't get time to order my Jair Marufo jersey for this game. I assumed it was only going to be between LAFC and the Rapids. Had I known there'd be a third party, I definitely would have gotten the kit. You know, I love apparel. But I mean, everyone says like this was a surefire loss. I'm not so sure about that. I think Armis had a plan coming in, and if what we saw between the 6-minute and the 42nd minute with only 10 men versus LAFC's 11 was any indication of what they could have done with 11 men for a full 90, I think Rapids can get out of there with a draw.
Agreed.
I will say that even if you look up until that red card, the Rapids, yes, we talked that it's not all possession, but the Rapids hadn't even had a shot at the like the Rapids hadn't even had the ball much at all in those first 6 minutes. So the game was already like, it felt like shifting in LAFC's direction, which is fine. Really tough team. I do think what's funny is that the places where the Rapids had spurts of possession was in that 20-minute period where LAFC scored their 3 goals. So it's just more evidence, Matt, to your we don't want possession game, because it was that those minutes right around the halftime where the Rapids were able to get some good momentum and keep the ball, and that's when they were able to get their goals.
I think final thought on the LAFC match is when Calvin Harris and KDP came on, even down 10, you could see how much of a revelation they were. They provided with creativity. Ted was just soloing dudes, trying to put the team on his back. And I think that was a great appetizer for what we ended up seeing in the next game. We're going to talk about Vancouver.
Yeah, which is a great opportunity for us to transfer over to Vancouver, which could not have been night and day on a different experience of a game. So, you know, Rapids went on to play one of the best teams in the West, Vancouver, here in Colorado this past Saturday. The game became the Rapids' performance of our hopes and dreams. Rapids were clearly the dominant team early on and got on the scoreboard in the 12th minute with a goal by Calvin Harris, and just continued to dominate the full game with a goal by Hoffa in the 30th minute and another by Maxu in the 59th. So 3 different scorers for that game. Notable is that Djordje was the assist for all 3 goals of the evening. All 3 of us enjoyed that game from Dick's Sporting Goods Park. What were your thoughts?
That was just an amazing game. Like that's the team that we've been promised, right? We actually got to see a team perform, dominate, right? Especially against like Vancouver, who is one of the better teams in the league. I know they're sitting, I think, 3rd right now, but they were dominating for the first half of the season. They're on a little bit of a slide, but that's still a very strong team up there, top 3. And for us to just show up like that, obviously Djordje had a heck of a game, like absolutely amazing. But he also gave some to Harris and Hoffa, and just like, it was just absolutely amazing game to watch. Like that's the kind of soccer I want to see. And I wish we'd seen that on like the July 4th when we had a sellout stadium, because that's the type of soccer that would have brought fans back.
Yeah, July 4th would have been great. And that's a lot of our home crowd. We did get to talk about in the post game with Chris that there is a huge National Premier League U.S. club soccer tournament happening at Dick's Sporting Goods Park over the course of these 3 weeks. So if you were walking around the stands at the Dick, you were seeing jerseys, T-shirts, apparel from all over the country. So there are kids in North Carolina, Texas, California, New Hampshire that just happened to be at this game, and they saw the Rapids show up and show out, and they're going to take that home with them. So I'll take that as a little consolation for not producing on the 4th of July.
Yeah, and Vancouver slips down to 3rd because of a loss to the Colorado Rapids. I want them to know it was us. Remember to say Vancouver.
Are you pulling out the thing from last year, the capital V Rapids from Matt Doyle? You lost to the Rapids.
Not just lost. I mean, yeah, Vancouver on a losing streak, Galaxy on a winning streak. Are we in an alternative timeline?
We're in the upside down. Yeah, but I think a key point of the game to talk about is the lineup change of Cole Bassett and Connor Ronan in the double pivot. We've seen some combination in the past few matches of Ted on the left and Calvin on the right, and that has been fantastic. It's given us wit, verticality, one-on-one playmaking ability that frees up the other players. But we have been rocking that with kind of that dual destroyer pivot in Ali and Josh Atencio. This one saw kind of the long ball vision quests of Connor Ronan and the ability for Cole to drive up the field and build out as he's often so wont to do. And I thought that was really the variable that took us over the top.
Yeah, and I really it was really vivid how they were immediately coming in with a hard press in the midfield and pressing up really high. And I think that new structure gave them the ability, or that new roster gave them the ability to do that. And they were executing it really well.
Which I think it just goes to show how worldwide the Rapids are, because if you guys watched the Club World Cup match on Sunday, Chelsea came out and just did their best Rapids impression, and that's how they won 3-0 on PSG as well. It looked, I mean, it was 1-1. I have to think that they saw Chris Armis's team's footage and they're like, that's the ticket.
If it can beat Vancouver.
Yeah.
That's what the Premier League is looking for, is inspiration.
I think you guys are missing the biggest part of the change since the last, 5 games, is Stefan was back in goal. Sorry. I think that Nico did a great job. I think he's a solid keeper, but Stefan is a leader on a level that I don't think Nico is. And I think that has a huge impact on that team when he's on the field. It doesn't always have to be him making the insane diving saves, which he does, but it's that leadership in the back that really helps support our team and pushes us forward from a leadership standpoint, I think.
Yeah, if Djordje was the playmaker up top, it was absolutely Stefan in the back, and our defense looked good. Also, he did have one of those absolute show-stopping saves that is just something you expect of that caliber keeper, but don't necessarily get all the time when he's not on the field. So hat off to him.
Yeah, that save in the press conference later, I know Charlie was likening it to the Emi Martinez kick save in the World Cup.
Forward by Konate. Conor Milani! What a stop! What a stop by Martinez!
But Monk, what you said about Nico, I think most of us agree. Nico was fantastic. I was so comfortable and so confident in Nico at goal. But just the difference when Stefan was back between the posts, you could feel the aura. You could feel that it was just that extra oomph to the team. And, as we're looking for variables for why this was a win, you got to put a lot on the shoulders of our green god, because he said, I guess the purple kit was in the wash. We did ask him about it, Sarah.
Yeah, I do think if Djordje gets the win, Stefan gets credit for the clean sheet. Holding that clean sheet took work, and he did it. I do think there was
killed my fantasy, by the way. Just saying. Had Nico starting 3 goals in, and then didn't play when we did the shutout. So
it's
fine.
I'm perfectly willing to sacrifice your fantasy performance to get Zach Stefan back.
I'd agree. I will take that. I'll take that surprise any day.
I do think there were some weird moments that we wanted to pull out a little bit. So I think the first was in the very beginning of the game, Rapids had what looked like a goal. Everyone in the stadium thought it was a goal. It was in the air and then cleared out, possibly past the line by a Vancouver defender. What did you all think when you saw that?
I think it was over the line. From every angle I saw, from the players' reactions, I mean, KDP was right there to see that. All of the players reacted like it was a goal, and you saw how quickly Vancouver moved to keep the play going, because I think they knew it was a goal too, and they wanted to distance themselves as far from a review as possible. Coincidentally, R2 kind of got the reverse karma of that, because in the PK shootout they faced Sunday night, there was definitely a shot that R2 took that did not cross the line that got called a goal. So, it's like Rapids break even, we lose one, we gain one, both teams get a result. Yeah, I think it works.
I think it was over the line, but it's really hard from that angle to see, because the ball is just like right there, and it's hard to see where the ball lines up from that side of the goal. So.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think that regardless, what I am happy to see is we have had a lot of games where a call doesn't quite go in our favor or something weird happens and it kills our momentum. And what we saw in this moment is Rapids stayed with it. They kept that aggression. And just a few minutes later, Calvin Harris went on to score in the 12th minute. So we got goal
1 minute.
1 minute later.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the 12th minute. So it with like flow of play, if they would have called that, realistically, we probably wouldn't have gotten that goal a minute later. We just fought and we were able to get the goal that we had already earned officially on the scoreboard.
That's a great point, Sarah. Like they talk about don't let the refs beat you, don't let them dictate the game. And we saw this team like finally get over that hump of letting the ref take the wind out of their sails. This is
when the king's on the board.
Yeah. Oh man, the other thing to talk about, both are Maxi centric, is the Rapids got their first set piece goal of the season, or at least in a long time. I know Djordje in the post game talked about how happy he was just for the fact that it would shut Sharpie up. He's like, now Sharpie can leave us alone on the set piece goals. Because I don't know if you've been there. Sharpie has a whole flip book of set pieces, and they go through the whole gamut of configurations of ball placement. So you have to imagine this drought was big.
Yeah, you could tell that they have been talking about it a lot. Djordje, I think, even mentioned that he's been saying that set pieces can be the difference of like 5 points for a team over a season. And so it's really important to get those. So they've clearly been harping them.
No, he called that 12 to 15 points was the stat that he
12 to
cited.
15 points?
Yeah.
Oh, I undersold it.
I mean, think about that Jack Price season. Like, that probably got us at least 15 points when he was just the set piece hero.
Totally. And we also saw them doing some like creative stuff on set pieces. So we saw them doing a few really short kicks off of the corners, trying to move the ball that way. So it was creativity, trying to come up with a different outcome than what we've been seeing all year. But also it just looked like fun. Like they were just having fun with it. Like this is the first game where I was like, oh, these guys like their jobs. They're enjoying being out there.
To be honest, I hate short corners. I just hate them all of my life. I hate them. I don't care how it is until the moment I see them scoring like all the time. It's just like, it feels like the biggest gamble. Like 99% of the time, nothing happens and you don't even get like an attempt on net. Like it's just like the defense compacts on you and then the ball goes the other direction. At least when you kick it across, like you could be mad that nobody jumped at it, but at least it went towards the goal.
Sure, you
Monk,
can hate the tactic.
I was going to change Monk's title to Contrarian. Matt or Sarah, pronounce something joyful and fun. Monk, well, actually,
I don't want all that stuff. But
I think what I appreciated seeing was what we have been doing isn't working. We're going to try some other things. We're going to be creative with it. And so I appreciated seeing that.
The other Maxu related topic was Maxu was wearing the armband. Again, we saw him come out with the armband in LA, even though he did give that to club captain Keegan Rosenberry when Rosenberry subbed into the game. But Maxu came out with the armband on again. And we got to talk to Maxu in the post game. And at training today, I was talking to some of the people in the comms department. And while Maxu has always been a leader, he was club captain at Brøndby. He was like, his leadership is one of the things he was touted for when he came to this club. The comms department was telling me there has been a clear delineation since the Rapids started struggling with Maxu stepping up his leadership, and that the armband looks to be a reward for that recognition. So kudos to Maxu and all the guys who I think we've heard Chris talk about Djordje's leadership, but getting through the mire that we had with those past games and getting such a jubilant and strong win against Vancouver.
Yeah, I was going to say one last thing I think worth talking about was there was a PK that Rapids missed. It was down in the south end, and it was interesting. So you saw right when that PK happened, Cole ran up immediately, called for one of the balls that was behind the goal and said, "It's mine, it's mine." You could see his mouth saying, "It's mine." And then there was a conversation between Maxu, Cole, Djordje, Hoffa, all around the spot. And Hoffa ended up taking the kick, and Maxu kind of pushed Cole away, and Cole threw the ball off. But I just thought that was an interesting moment of, a PK is a big opportunity. Of course, all of these guys are really thirsty for goals, which is we love to see and we want them to be. But it seemed like there was a little bit of a rub in those moments leading up to the PK.
I'm sorry, Cole. Even though he missed the shot, well, he put it on net and was saved. Like, Cole, sit down. Sorry. When you have Hoffa and Djordje, you're big time goal scorers. One of them should be taking the shot, not you. I'm sorry. I hate to say it, but like, sit down. Not your spot.
I totally get it. When you have Hoffa and Djordje, the only opportunity you're going to get to try and get your name in the conversation is when one of them missed. I mean, that's how Hoffa got back on PKs, because Djordje missed. Hoffa missed. This is Cole's chance to kind of announce himself and put a little bit of that on his shoulders. I know there's the thirst for goals, like Sarah said, but there's also like Cole takes a lot of responsibility for this club, for this badge, and I would applaud that desire. I would hope the whole team's fighting to try and take the PK.
Absolutely. And we did ask the coach directly about it in postgame, and he kind of, had his boys' backs and was like, no, there was no controversy. We all knew Hoffa was going to take it. But I think anyone who was in the supporter section saw a little bit of a tiff. What I will say is, like, I like Djordje on these, and I don't think it was a miss so much as like he just weirdly rolled nat ones on his athletics check for these. Like, he hit the post twice in that last game. He's missed his last two. I get it, just being like, all right, let's shake it off. Let's give him a few games breaks and let's put him back on it. But I hope to see him back on these kicks soon.
Damn, Monk, punt that on the clock. I think this is episode 21. We've made it since episode 6 without a D&D reference, and Sarah just brought it back. Credit. I know we talked about Hoffa missing, but credit to Takaoka, because that was a hell of a save. Both of them just waited until the very last second to move, which is what you want to do in that situation. And the save was right. I don't think Hoffa's penalty was bad. A lot of people are making more out of his long stutter step, Brazilian samba PK run up, but I'm fully confident Hoffa again. I have a dark horse theory though. I would love to see Maxu take the next PK. I think we've talked about this before, but Sarah, you'll remember, I don't know if Monk, you were in the North Boundary with us behind the goal last year during Leagues Cup when they went to PKs against, I think, Juarez, and Maxu striking the ball. Granted, it hit the post, but Maxu striking the ball was one of the hardest ball strikes I've heard in my entire soccer watching and listening to experience. So even if he gets saved, I think we let Maxu do it because he's going to concuss the starting goalkeeper, and then we can just put 3 more in.
Okay,
nope,
so then
I want
on that
Stefan
note,
to take it.
I have been writing in every week requesting that, and nobody takes me seriously.
That would be the most baller move ever.
So I want to go a little bit, a 2-minute discussion on Maxu. Guys, obviously great talent, has the captain's armband, but there's a lot of rumors he's out the door at the end of the season. Do you think the captain's armband maybe is showing that he might be back next year, or just because he's had good performances and showed some leadership, we're just kind of giving it to him because others haven't either been consistent or whatever that looks like, how they felt like how Armas is doing it?
I think the captain's armband speaks to the leadership of the day, and that's why Maxu has been wearing it for this past week. I don't know that it's so much as a club statement, PR move, or contractual indicator, as much as guys in the locker room like Maxu's been stepping up for the past 2 weeks. I think he should wear the band going out. I mean, Keegan's still the club captain, and he's not on the starting 11. So I think they're finding their own hierarchy and their own way to respect and lead each other in that locker room.
I do think it would be a bummer to see him go, and my only demand is that we just keep going with taller. So if we do replace him with someone else, they have to be at least 6'4".
We have to bring back isn't Maxu 6'5"?
I think 6'3".
No way. I thought he's bigger than that.
The
Moist
MLS
was
soccer
6'3".
website says 6'3".
Oh.
Do you know what? Fine. 6'6" or taller.
Well, we can bring back 6'7" Axel Sjoberg. I
Yep.
loved him. Yeah.
Truly, I forget how tall Maxu is every time until I see him next to all the other players on the field. He is just a Goliath. It's so cool.
I don't know if you've seen an R2 game lately, Sarah, but Kofi Sinanu and Josh Blues, Josh particularly, is 6'5". Those are big MFers. Like if we're just trying to create a tall boy academy, we're doing a good job. We've got them in the wings.
This is a great idea. So we had jokingly passed around the idea of fielding an entire team of Djordjes. Like we could have Djordje, Georgie, Jorge, George, all of the George equivalent names. So now we should just field an entire field of people over 6'5".
We're not going to talk about your fantasies of just tall boys, all right? Let's move on.
Tall boys and tall boys will be what that segment's about.
Monk, that applies to you too. You love a tall boy. I saw you with a koozie and a tall boy. Yeah.
And then the goalkeeper has to be under 6 foot, under 5'5".
Oh, bring back Abraham Rodriguez, I think was 5'10". What a scrapper he was, man. But no, Monk, just to actually answer your question, we can pretty much count on Cheeto leaving. We know the Rapids are in the market for a center back. If Maxu's leaving this summer as well, let alone at the end of the season, we need to accelerate the development of our young center backs, and we need to go out and get some surefire athletic starters.
Agreed. That's a lot of shakeup in the back for a team that already has had some struggles in the back line. So it does make me nervous to think about all that movement.
No. Drew Moore, Balboa coming out of retirement.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
That'd
but
be
Balboa is
wild.
immediately leaving after Matt gets his jersey.
Yeah,
I know. He's not afraid.
Balboa's going to play one game out of retirement and then get scouted by like Lyon or something.
He just reverse Messi's.
Yeah.
He goes and retires out of it.
Man.
Speaking of Messi, fantasy time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in addition to our dreams of setting lineups based on height or first name, this week was a fun double game week in fantasy. I think what made it unique is that while we did have double game week teams, it wasn't like this coming week where almost everyone is on a double game week. I personally ended the week with 179 points. Players who didn't captain or at least play Messi really struggled to keep up this week. And we've talked about it constantly. Messi has just changed the form of this game in a lot of ways because he just becomes a must-have. Obviously, Messi, if folks haven't kept up, is blasting through MLS records. This past week, he got game 5 with 5 games in a row with a brace. So he is just really in form. We're seeing him start every game, which we haven't seen in earlier days of Messi in the MLS, where he's playing back-to-back games. He's traveling with the team. So just, dynamite per usual. But I do also have to notice that our own Djordje Mihailovic made the fantasy team of the week with 18 points in the midfield from his 2 games. Obviously, those 3 assists in the Vancouver game really helped that score. So shout out to Djordje, and it's exciting to see him as a good, viable pick.
Sarah, that's a great reminder because both Djordje and Maxu made the MLS team of the match day starting 11. We forgot to mention that.
Woo woo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Djordje really had a week. Go ahead.
Messi has that many games in a row with a brace. Can we count on that many of our entire team having a brace this season, let alone like
I think that we're really taking a collectivist approach. As you noticed by that last game, we think that we're more dynamic when it's unpredictable who our goal scorers will be. So it's really nice to see this selfless Rapids play, and I'd prefer this form.
I think it's time to have that talk, guys. I think it's time to drug test Messi. Like, I don't know if he's getting the good stem cells off like the Amazon dark web, if like he's taking performance enhancing drugs, but I want him tested. Like, this seems unearthly.
Well, I appreciate the creative response. I think it is the wrong time to put an immigrant man in front of a Congress or in front of this Congress. So maybe we'll let him slide at least till the next midterms.
He's going to become the governor of Florida anytime now.
By appointment.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that. That's fine. Yeah.
Well, we have a really fun week coming up. So you'll notice it's a double game week. As everyone has seen, actually, our Rapids are one of only a few teams who aren't on a double game week. So our single game week teams this week, which is important if you're running a switcheroo of some form, at the beginning of the week is Austin and Colorado. And then at the back end of the week, playing only on Saturday, are SKC and Salt Lake. Every other team is on a double game week. And it's important to note there are no bye teams this week. And fun fact, there are no bye weeks for the rest, bye teams for the rest of the season. So every week, every team is playing from here on out. That's important when setting up your lineup because you can't count on players not to play. Do you all have games that you're looking forward to this week or players you're excited to play?
Yes, absolutely. Do you guys see on Saturday, we've got El Tráfico, Galaxy versus LAFC. And with Galaxy in the upside down, like, who knows what could happen there? I'm excited for Evander to just, like, destroy FSL. Like, Captain Evander, guys, he's playing Salt Lake.
Just for the joy of it.
How is the LA game going to go? Because the ref doesn't know which bribe to take.
That's a good call. I think that means we're getting a high-scoring game because he's going to realize he has to give a makeup call to the other team who's also paying him.
I think this is a really interesting call, Matt, because if folks remember, Galaxy drew LAFC in the first round of El Tráfico, which I am sure, especially at that point when Galaxy still didn't have a win on the season, must have irked the crap out of LAFC. So, I mean, we're seeing an LAFC in good form going up against a Galaxy that seems to have maybe found their form. They had a win on Vancouver and then just recently got a win on DC. So I think that that's a really good call. And for folks who are still looking at budget, the Galaxy players, because they had such a rough start to their season, are still super affordable. So if you're feeling good about Galaxy, you can put Galaxy players on your team pretty easy.
Yeah, and Monk, you're going to get such a good deal on Ricky Pooch, so make sure to get him in there.
If you're going for a discount team.
Just from a fan soccer watching standpoint, I'm really excited to see how FC Cincinnati rebounds against Miami tomorrow night or tonight, depending on when you're listening to this, because that Hell is Real game was wild. They go up 2-0 in 20 minutes and 4-2 to Columbus.
And that momentum when they were 3-3, up 3-2, I believe. The momentum was shifted when with an own goal. Cincinnati got an own goal, giving Columbus the lead. That's heartbreaking at your derby.
Yeah. Well, speaking of hearts, we've got an interview about a new piece of apparel that might have an old badge that goes over our hearts. We've got Jordan Rothrock. He has graced us with his presence again for Kit Chat Part 2. You guys mind if we go ahead and jump into that?
Absolutely. I'm excited for the fans to see this interview and see the new jersey. We were all thrilled to see it, and we're excited for you to see it too.
Huzzah! We are here for Kit Chat Part 2, a special edition jersey launch. I have Fantasy Queen Fitouri.
Hey, y'all. I'm very excited to be here.
And the man who thought the jersey would be yellow, Matt.
That was the last one. I was really on the neon yellow tilt because Jordan posted a picture of a kayak, and I thought that was his Easter egg.
Safety yellow was what you picked up on.
Hey man, it's loud, it's fun. I was down for it. But more importantly, we're back with the man, the myth, the legend, and the only Kansas whiz we pay attention to behind the curtain, Jordan Rothrock. Jordan, how are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me back and for another great introduction. I'm going to keep coming back just to hear those. So
yeah, you just save them, make them your ringtones,
yeah.
Put them on other people's phones for you.
Yes.
All right. So
All about it.
Yeah, we've invoked the Wizard of Oz for a couple of reasons. One being your home state of Kansas, the other being the beautiful archive kit SKC put out last season, but mostly because we're feeling green today. I'm about to do a live unboxing of the brand new 2025 Colorado Rapids archive kit. It'll be the first time the three of us see this beauty. Are we correct in feeling green, Jordan?
I don't know. I guess we'll all have to see when you open it shortly.
Oh man, what?
I don't
what
want to
if-
ruin anything.
What if it's like a completely different jersey? Like Kinsey is really just.
It's neon
Yeah.
yellow.
You guys could be devastated shortly.
So I
We'll
have the
see.
box
I'm
here.
so excited.
I have this very sharp cheese
That's
knife.
terrifying.
It mainly only opens Costco cheddar, so I don't think it's actually been a part of any crimes yet.
Oh. Man, the anticipation.
Yeah, Rapid
I
Man
know.
showed at my door with this box, and he did one of these, which let me know, like, I cannot show this to anyone.
Yeah.
That's why Matt didn't even
Oh.
bother to open the box before now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was scared.
There's a box in a box.
All right. I don't know how. We've got
Ooh,
green.
look at that old
We got
crest.
the old school logo. We got the gold 3 stripes. What?
Do they all come with the cool box? Look at that.
Yeah, so we do like a media kit drop for influencers and media partners, and so we've been doing the really nice boxes for the last 4 kits, I think. So yeah,
Nice. All right, let's see it.
Like the old logo inlay. Oh, check out this baby.
That's a good look. I love those mountains. Matt, it's kind of hard to see. Is that more muted green, or is that the green that we know and love?
I think whatever this green's called, it's beautiful. Jordan, do we have an official
Beautiful
name for the green?
the name of the green is called Noble Green.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noble green.
Nice. All right, we got Marcelo Balboa, number 17. Ooh, we got a teaser for the Colorado and Glory magazine.
Coming soon.
And then, hey, look at that. Original green. I like that way better than Noble Green. Oh, man, you guys. Oh, wow. All right. First things first.
Da-da,
There's a
da-da,
collar.
Hey. Da-da.
We've got the old badge again. And then, oh, yeah, this is what we're talking about. We've got the Colorado Rapids Wave logo.
Nice.
Look
Stripes
at
on the
this. Look at this Marcelo Balboa bicycle kick logo, guys. Can this be
That's
the new
great.
MLS logo, Jordan? Have they-
I would be honored because I made that. So if my logo was
Nice.
MLS's crest, it would be pretty sick to have that in my
Matt,
portfolio.
you're gonna have to put this on for us, I think.
Have they already the old school MLS kicking
Nice.
logo with the blue? All right, I'm gonna pop this on. Oh yeah, don't forget with the archive kits, you get the UC Health sponsor on the back.
And it is a different like font set as well for the name and number that you can have customized by us. It's a retro kind of blocky font. And so it really brings the whole look together, which is super nice.
Nice.
And Jordan, while Matt does that, he didn't really answer my question. Can you describe this green to us? Like how?
Yeah, so it's not as as I would say saturated as the original 90s green. It is very much like an archive, little bit richer color rather than going saturated. All the colors are slightly more like archivey muted is what I would say than technically the original color palette. I think it makes it the kind of the more modern take of the originals and makes it an original on its own as well. So yes, it is not a one for one with the original. Yeah.
All right,
This
Matt. No, you got to do a 360 in it. Let's
this
see
thing is
it.
awesome.
Hey. UC Health, right above the
Fashion
booty.
show.
Fashion show at work.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, this is amazing, man. This feels great.
I imagine it's more breathable than the old school jerseys.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's a very premium base. So yeah. no, hopefully, yeah, the players have done their photo shoots in it and we're really excited by it. So, yes, fully kitted.
I like it. Done.
Matt,
to
I
see the
claim the
shorts.
hat. That's what I want. You can have the jersey. I want the hat.
Let's fight.
Let's go.
Do you know what, Jordan? I want is a purple stuffing kit. Just throwing it out there.
Just throwing it out there. They don't really like. Yeah. I can see what I can do.
Thanks. No, just kidding. No, we're so excited about this. Obviously, it had a lot of components that we had. Well, I would say that we picked out from teasers, but you were laying it hard there a little bit by the end. If we hadn't picked up on some of this, we were a little slow. So yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, I will say, Jordan, by far, I think at least personally speaking, my favorite part of the kit rollout is all the like tiny little teasers you put throughout the weeks leading up to it. I just like feast on everything, go over every image, every video, just looking for every little bit of information you put in there. It's so exciting.
Yeah, we actually had like a teaser committee this time around with this kit, and so it's like their job was to think of different ways to do it, and it's like a lot of clubs lean on like a celebrity or whatever, but we kind of wanted to do it a little bit differently and use our players and things like that. So yeah, they came up with a lot of good ideas to use in content stuff. So yeah, it's been fun to see reactions.
On that note, is there a teaser that either was your favorite or one that maybe you think we didn't pick up on or that people may not have noticed?
That's a good question. I mean, the original leak was announcing like Cello's retirement night with the silhouette on it was the first one I put out. But I mean, probably the first kind of like off-white beige graphic that just said the 716, I think is like the exciting. It kind of kicked things off and got the excitement going. But then the guys in the gazelles and things like that is super exciting to me because it's just like iconic pieces that we now get to have in our portfolio. So, but yeah, I love all the teases
Nice. All right, well, let's jump right in. I'm looking at the materials. All right, do we have a name for the kit?
It is the original green, so that logo you saw.
Oh, there we go.
Yep. So that's kind of the logo that goes with the kit. Yeah, it came very naturally as soon as we started the process. We didn't workshop any other names. Everyone was just like, yeah, let's run with this, the OG. So yeah.
I like this copy on the back. It says the 1990s, a golden age for soccer in the U.S., the birth of MLS. Baggy fits, iconic kits, epic shootouts, crazy hair, and legendary names. The Rapids, back then it was green and gold. So 3 decades later, we're returning to our roots, back to our original look and colors in honor of our supporters and players, here to remind everyone that we built this league together. Oh, man, that's chills.
Yeah, it's good.
I still get chills. Yeah, Alex killed it with that one. So
that's awesome.
Speaking of gold, it should have come with a gold chain to go with that 90s feel.
I'll add that to the capsule collection.
I even had one on earlier.
I just want to,
we'll just finish.
I want a gold chain with that Marcelo, the bicycle kick medallion.
The really big ones.
I'm going to finally figure out how to grow out chest hair this year just so I can really pull it off.
Yeah.
We're committed. Well, my question is, like, with this archive kit, was it always given from the start that you were going to go back to that 96 era, or were there other ideas thrown around?
So when Adidas came to us, Alex, Katie, and I, kind of the lead group putting this stuff together, took a step back and thought about all of Colorado soccer. So even going back to the Foxes, the Caribous, we kind of wanted to get everything out on the table that could possibly relate to this kind of archive theme that Adidas does. It didn't have to be a 90s theme, even though the 90s are very in and back right now. But so we really debriefed and got everything out. And then we kind of took a step back and we're like, if we are given the opportunity to do a green kit and we don't take it, our fans are going to find us. It's like they've been asking for it for years. It just seemed to be the most... the thing that people were going to be drawn to the most. They've been asking for the old crest. They've been asking for green. So if we didn't do it, it's like, what are we doing here? But it wasn't the outright, like, obvious thing for us. We really wanted to kind of explore every opportunity we could do. So, yeah.
Now, you mentioned exploring every opportunity. It seems like green was the front runner in the clubhouse the entire time. Had you considered the 96 home white?
Yes. So technically, because I'll go back, but we had done mock-ups with the sleeves because the sleeves are iconic on the original home one. But looking at our current portfolio, if you put One Flag, Headwaters, and now Original Green next to each other, we have two kits that have kind of crazier patterns. And so we thought once we saw it as just a solid color, it made way more sense and felt even more special and clean and like classic, I guess, once you saw kind of the whole current portfolio together. So that's kind of why we went in that direction over bringing in some of the iconic patterns from that era. Yeah.
So next year you've got a home kit to release and a 30-year anniversary as an occasion, right? Was this retrospective kit designed in conjunction with, or like at least with that kit in mind?
We're always thinking way out in advance. So there's always the thought process of how it translates with next year and what covering our bases. But with this could only last through this season, so there wasn't a lot of side-by-side comparisons and thought process there. But to answer the question, things tie together, but they aren't directly related. It's a new, fresh take on a new home kit. So it'll be very exciting to see next February.
Fun. We're looking forward to it.
I've dived in what I consider the most controversial part of the jersey, and that's having a collar on it.
Yeah.
So why'd you go with the collar versus the collarless style?
It was honestly, so we have a list of non-negotiables we sent to Adidas, and it was the first one the three of us put on our non-negotiable list, is that we had to have a collar with this one. It was huge, and a part of that narrative, Matt, that you read, it was such a big piece of it, of that time era, and like the original one had a collar, and probably the one that I think people reference the most was that like 99-2000 away kit, the green one with like the swoosh across it, and those also had collars. So it felt like it was a necessity to get like our point across with what we were trying to do, and we just really haven't done it in a really long time, and this felt kind of like the right moment for kind of the Rapids brand piece of it.
And then in any retro endeavor, you're trying to draw to a time and place, and you've touched on that with the 90s, but also with the logo, the Rapids are drawing to an iconic person in Colorado lore, Marcelo Balboa. How much inspiration to the process was Cello, or how much did he take part in the process?
Yeah, so funny enough, I had created that silhouette of him back in 2020 when we were doing the best starting 11 during like the COVID era, and it never ended up getting used. And so I've always found like PSG working with like the Air Jordan stuff has always been an inspiration for like kind of that lifestyle brand that like no one's been able to match. So I kind of wanted to use that as inspiration and create this kind of tag with Cello's iconic moment on there and then our original year. So by doing that, we did have to loop in Cello pretty early in the process because it has his likeness, so getting him to legally sign off. But we also, with the amount of things we have planned for him with the jersey retirement, we wanted to use him for a lot of content this season. We needed to get his buy-in sooner than later and make sure that like he actually wanted to do those things. So he's known about it for like a year and a half. He's been a part of the process. He was in all of our like video and photo shoots and things like that. So been talking to him a lot recently. But yes.
Well, speaking of iconography, so we have the majestic Rapids wave and peak logo front, the circle and the sun badge over the heart. We also saw the Mountain and Globe 96 logo in the teasers. What was the process in choosing and creating which iconography you were going to go with?
Adidas came to us for the two fronts. Part of the process with the archive was originally the big thing was that the sponsor had to go on the back. So we had to work with UC Health right off the bat to make sure that they were fine with that. And then they were like, you guys have some of the most iconic marks in MLS history, so we want to feature both of those kind of original crests on it. So that was Adidas coming with us with the placement, and we were all like, obviously, like, this looks great. So the iconography that has come along with it. So Katie and I put like a creative brief together, and then we go to my team, which is Kai and Sai, often say put their names together, but there are two like designer gurus on our team. And so they put a campaign look and feel together, which will be mostly on like game day stuff and in stadium. And so I believe it was Saw that put those icons together, and I was like, these are really dope. And so mostly will be used in game day content, but yeah, you'll see them dispersed through other things, and really kind of bring the whole look and feel together, I think. So yeah.
With the Sounders rebrand, if you will, we saw a full complement of badges, word marks, and alternative iconography. With the popularity of the C badge from the Headwater kit, are we seeing one-offs, or are you building towards a new brand?
Referencing Seattle's like refresh with their look and feel is iconic. They killed it. They like no notes. Everything they put out has been really nice. Yes, their icon set is really good. So the C crest has been around for a long time. It's mostly been something we did internally to use for things. And then with its popularity, we've started to use it in stadium and seeing how it responded. And then we've obviously put it on Headwaters and now way more apparel, and it's done really well. I don't think the rebrand is the right word right now. I do think there will be some like look and feel things that you'll see across with the C crest and things like that. Rebrands take a lot of time and research and all of that stuff, so there won't be some immediate any of that going on. But I'm glad people have responded positively to that stuff. It makes us excited to use it. So yeah.
Now, you mentioned that the jerseys are for this year only, but I mean, these are amazing. Are we, like you were saying, going to see those infused more into game day visuals, the overall identity of the brand?
Yeah, so I think I can say this. We'll debut them at the Philly away game. The guys, we got special permission from Philly's team to wear them at Philly. And then we'll debut them at home for Cello's retirement night versus Atlanta. And then we'll do them against Minnesota at home and LAFC at home for fan appreciation night. The look and feel, all the match day graphics, the video boards, things like that should all switch over to that look and feel. And so it should feel very retro. I've rebranded one of the Authentics trucks, which be able to see out very shortly, and we'll be selling the gear out of there. So
nice.
Check that event out. But yeah, so yes, should have a little bit more of a retro vibe to everything.
Well, and while we're talking about players playing in these, does this mean that Zach and the goalkeepers will get a corresponding retro kit?
So they do get a new kit. I don't know if it necessarily feels that retro, but it is like kind of a bright burnt orange, and it has the circle crest on it. And so they did think about the goalkeepers, which is nice. It doesn't give retro to me. Maybe it does to other people, but it is at least something new for them as well. Yeah.
The burnt orange, maybe that's what you're picking up with on the yellow mat.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's just in time for a retro Zach Steffen Leagues Cup performance. So that's the retro theme.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
It's about the performance there.
Yeah.
PKs for days.
Or if you follow Miami, we could just retro the purple kit next year.
Everyone will be happy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so you've only been with the club post the 2007 rebrand, and you've obviously played with the green quite a bit in the Headwaters and Class 5 kits, but this is like probably the first time really diving into that green color. How do you, now that you've worked with it, what do you think of that original palette of the green, blue, gold, white?
Yeah, it's always really fun for creatives to like get something new, especially like when you're working in a team atmosphere. It really isn't about you. It's like, I love the burgundy and blue. I love that we are the only team with burgundy, but when you're given something new and exciting to work with, it's been a lot of fun. I know my team has really enjoyed it, and I think people really enjoy seeing that green and the blue, and it feels very like Colorado and Rapids. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Jordan, can you talk about the kit promotion this time around, rolling it out, the shoots, what the vibe for that was?
Yeah, we sat back and we're like, it'd be real after Headwaters that we did it at kind of that shop and in Buena Vista. It felt very natural in the storytelling. So we're like, we're on to something here. We need to like keep this going. And it's like, what if we do something at a local like vintage shop that has a lot of sports gear already in it? So it just feels like, oh, I'm walking the racks and this happens to be in there. So we shot down at the digging pit, close to Coors Field, went in with our video producers and walked around, and it just felt really, really spot on. I kind of tore the place up during the shoot, so I had to apologize to everyone, but the guys there were all super cool. And yeah, they already had so many iconic things in there, so it wasn't like that hard. We had to worry about like IP rights and taking certain things out and stuff like that for content, but they had all of like the old school Nuggets and Broncos and even some Rams stuff, so it felt very like Colorado KSE family all in one when we were doing the shoot, and you'll see hits of that kind of stuff. But yeah, so we shot 4 of the current guys down there, so Cole, Djordje, Hoffa, and Yappy, and then we brought in Cello, of course Drew. You can't do a shoot without Drew anymore, and then Terry Cook, who also helped us with Glory Book stuff, so we kind of reconnected there. So those 3 alumni were there. Great, yeah.
What was Hoffa digging the Palmares vibes a little bit? Did he feel back at home?
Oh yeah, for sure.
How did you find the digging pit? Was this like last time you said you found the spot on Instagram? Same deal, or?
So Dalen, our brand and creative video producer, I had said, hey, here's the concept that we're working with as a vintage shop. Can you find some options? So we toured a couple around Denver, and this one just felt right. They were actually closed on Mondays, which made it even easier to do the shoot. Not that that was the only reason, but everything kind of just aligned with. They were super chill, and it was like, great, these are the vibes we need for this. So they made everything really easy for us. But yeah, he kind of just scoured the internet, and yeah. So
you talked about price accessibility and use case with the Headwaters capsule. What was your thinking on this capsule?
So if I'm being honest, I didn't have a lot to do with the capsule. When Adidas came to us and said, hey, we're going to give you originals, I was like, okay, I can't really one up these pieces. So getting the Gazelles and the Anthem jacket and the t-shirt, I'm trying to think. We have hats from New Era, and then I created a scarf to go with it. But so I guess I did one piece. But honestly, that they did custom shoes for us and the Anthem jackets. Also, it's like I don't need to do extra pieces here because these are what people are going to want. So, yeah.
Is that jacket going to be reversible? I know we saw green with a gold zipper.
Yeah, it's not reversible, but the material, I like the material even better than the Headwaters jacket. So I think it's a little softer.
Cool.
It's very premium. It's super nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where does this kit rank personally in the kits you've done?
That's a good question. They all have like a special place. I have a rack of the kits up above me. That's why I'm looking up randomly. But I don't know. Like, it's definitely up there. It's like we opened the box originally. It comes in just a normal FedEx box from Adidas, the original sample. And Katie was in my office and she goes, oh my gosh, it's perfect. And it's just like, so it is one of those things, like, we're very proud of it. It's like, I don't know if I can necessarily rank it in that thing. It's just like, we're all collectively very excited with how it came out. So.
Have you seen the other archive kits?
I have. I did get a little tease. Was on a meeting with the league, and they're cool. I'm always a fan of the actual archive pieces. And so the teams that like, I guess Dallas already leaked theirs, but like the original teams that actually had the iconography to go along with it, I'm obviously more of a fan with because of this nostalgia, but some of the newer teams that got the launches did a nice job as well. So
nice.
Yeah, lots to look forward to on Wednesday or yeah.
So what is your favorite non-Rapids 90s kit?
So, I mean, I think you have to go back to the original, the 96 white with like the embossed weave pattern and the crazy sleeves. I just think that is so, when I first started here, I was like, God, that kit is something. That is a look. But I just think now the history and stuff of it, it's just like the old school photos and things. It's just such an iconic moment for the team, that kit. And it's like, I'm not sure you could ever recreate that moment, really.
For sure. Do you have a favorite from one of the other 90s teams that's not Rapids?
Like actual old school or from the launch coming up?
From the
Well,
90s.
if you
any
want to
team,
give us
any league.
teases
Yeah.
from the launch, you can give us
I
as many
mean,
teases
yeah.
from the launch, but
Yeah.
we were meaning originals.
I mean, the Wiz is so iconic. It's like you cannot like go think of 90s MLS and not bring up Kansas City. It's just insanely out there, and just it does so well in their market too when they bring it back. Trying to think. Dallas Burn had some nice ones as well. The horizontal stripe stuff is always really cool. But yeah, the Wiz, I think they just kill it every time. So
Not biased at all.
not by
As an aside, I saw the Nuggets are bringing back the black Rainbow City Connect kit. Do you have a favorite Nugget kit from any of the recent years?
the recent years. I mean, when they did their refresh of their brand, I just think all the dark navy stuff looks very clean and fresh. Like, and I think it stands out in the market too. So any of the solid navy ones, I think, are very nice.
Nice.
I
Well,
mean,
I
I am a fan of the old school Skyline as well, but like, I feel like that's everyone's answer. So
That's fair.
yeah.
Well, I think we have one last question for you, which is just like last Kit Chat, we know how far out you like to drop Easter eggs. Can you give us any tease on the 26 home kit?
Kenzie was just asking if I've teased it yet, and very much so have teased it already. So it is out in the world.
Ooh.
Super excited about it. I think it's gonna excite fans a lot, but nothing I verbally want to commit to yet. But it's out
Fair
in the
enough.
world.
Done.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time, Jordan. Again, this is amazing. I'm so stoked on this kit. You 10 out of 10, no notes. You hit it out of the park.
10 out of 10. Love to hear it. I hope everyone else shares the sentiment on Wednesday when they see it. So
I have a feeling they will.
yeah. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, thanks so much.
All right. Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much, Jordan.
Yeah.
Bye,
Yeah.
Jordan.
We're excited.
Have a good one.
Up the PIDs.
Man, that unboxing was fun.
Thanks for holding on to my hat for me.
Anytime. It's waiting for you. You picking it up tomorrow night at the watch party?
Sadly, no. I will be in a car down to El Paso tomorrow. So
If I give
I'm
it to
just trying to touch
Sarah,
the
you'll
game.
never see it again.
You never gave it to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. Sarah, I think you're on record as saying you're not a hat girl or a jersey girl, though. So now you've been convinced to switch to both?
Actually, what I'm pretty sure I'm on record saying is I am a purple jersey girl.
That's fair.
Jordan?
And I think Jordan clocked that too.
I think because I explicitly said, hey, Jordan, I want a purple jersey. But like next time I could be more direct, you know? I need to
Well,
stop being subtle.
You already seeded the idea to Zach in the post-game presser last week. So just the next time you get Zach at the end of the game, the locker room is right there, Sarah. You know?
And everyone should know, fans, we are not the only ones obsessed with the purple jersey. When Matt brought it up to Stefan in the post game, the entire press room lit up. People love that purple. We're excited to see him back.
Well, speaking of green, should we move on to the team in the Emerald City? Monk, you want to?
Yeah, let's roll into our game tonight. If you're listening on time. Otherwise, you'll get to see the score before you hear our predictions, which will be cool, I guess. Like we're talking from the past there. We're playing Seattle. They're currently sitting in fourth in the West with 33 points at 9-6-6. But they are very strong at home, 6-1-3. That's a rough one to push over. They actually have a positive goal differential at 31-28. They're coming off a 3-2 win over KC in Kansas City. That's pretty solid. Our Rapids are sitting 7th with 29 points, so we're not that far away, but we are a game or two up on them. So gotta talk about that a little bit. We've played the most games in the league. We have an extra one over every team and 2 over some of the teams. Our points per game, though, still put us in a playoff spot at 9th. So if you actually do go down, if all the teams play the averages they're playing right now, we still hold a playoff spot and they won't catch us. The Rapids are without Axel Harris. Alex Harris. Wow. My brain just flipped those letters, and I don't even have dyslexia. That's awesome. Way to go, me. Nico's out, but we're assuming he wouldn't be starting anyway with Steph in there. And Wayne Frederick is also out with a hip injury. Seattle will be out Stephen Fry with a concussion. Ooh, those are never fun. Nuhu with a red card for throwing a ball at a fan. And still out Paul Ariola and
João Paulo.
All right, with knee injuries.
Do we read
Just
that?
like all the struggles in that. No, it's funny. It's fine.
I think Axel's on your mind because we talked about Axel Sjoberg, and
Yep.
I will point out to all you xenophobes out there, it behooves you to befriend international folks, because my good buddy Axel, the Frenchman that was dancing next to you this past week, Monk, he's the one that broke the L'Equipe article on Cheeto. So we got to be the first American outlet to cover it because our French friend Axel read his morning sports report from his home country and told us the news.
Man, I love Axwell.
Oh
Axwell
my
is
God.
my favorite.
He loves when you call him that too. Yeah.
And if you all want to join the PIDCAST deep research team with Axel, please let us know. This is twice we've been able to pick up on transfers or non-transfers by watching that news. Go team.
Yeah. Should we
How
talk
do we
about
feel
the game?
going into this?
Yeah, I mean, I think of that list of injuries, I think it's worth knowing. We talked about it. Stephen Fry had a nasty injury a week ago. Took a kick to the head at the very end of the game against Columbus, right? Ambulance came onto the field, took him off. So, like, while I appreciate that we are getting to go against a Seattle with Fry, who is just a dynamic keeper, we continue to think about him because that was just a nasty one, and a big hit that we hope he's okay from.
So, silver lining is he did joke about it himself. I think, what was it, the day after he posted something on Instagram that was like, "Hey guys, still trying to figure out what happened last night. Any news?" He's since been back around the facilities in good spirits. I think Brian Schmetzer, the coach, is on record saying that Fry's already wanted to come back, even though he shouldn't. So our thoughts definitely go out. You never want to see anything like that.
Concussions are so hard, just because, like, your other injuries you can push through and the damage will be done, but it's not as bad, right? You can only get so many concussions in a career before it's just significant, and pushing yourself early, even if you're feeling okay, is just a huge danger.
Yeah, and maybe it's because it was one of our own or two of our own, but it just feels like we're seeing a lot of goalkeeper injuries this year, and so stay safe out there, keeps.
Oh yeah, so I actually, because you brought that up, I talked to the goalkeepers in training, and they do tease Nico about his love affair with the woodwork. He, more than any of the other keepers, tends to find himself hitting the post on saves. They all do it, but they said Nico does it the most.
Oh. Yeah, I think we have to take a second to talk about Nuhu's red card. Matt, I know you reviewed the video. You want to talk us through it?
Straight red. Baker Whiting. No second, no third. They get the foul. But up top, more importantly for Seattle Sounders, Nuhu gets it.
Look, just like I'm team defender here. I'm team Nuhu. I think this was an example of a fan effed around and found out. Like you see Nuhu's on the end line and it looks like a fan's jabbering at him. We don't know what's being said. I don't know if it's a fan of Seattle or an opposing fan. But then Nuhu just kind of like takes the ball off of the stand beside the field and just hucks it right at him. You know, I don't think that fan's going to get a concussion from the velocity of the throw, but Nuhu is definitely going to get a multi-game suspension out of it and probably a sizable fine. Nuhu, I still respect the move. I think these fans have been on Twitter too long and think they can just voice their opinions without any sort of compensation, if you will.
Sure, I appreciate that take. And these are professional athletes who should be able to keep their head when a fan's mouthing off. Like fans mouth off, right? Like that is just the reality of this sport. And so I do think to do something that that could hurt your team, knowing, because that's a red. You know that's a red. It's not I played a little too aggressive for the ball and accidentally got a red, Travis. It's like you are taking the choice to take yourself out of the game. Yes, it's at 90+4. You're taking the choice to take yourself out of the game for several games in a row, right? I don't know. I think it's bad form, and I think he knows better. He's a volatile player. He's been a volatile player. He's an incredible player. He knew better.
Yeah, but he's volatile in like the fun way. Volatile in the fun way. He probably just had a vacation planned, and he also just wanted to, help out the scrappy Colorado Rapids that were coming to town this week.
I have to slightly agree with Matt. I get being professional, right? And if he'd gone over and just decked the guy, maybe he threw a ball at him. Like the guy's going to go brag about that for the rest of his life, how he just got a ball thrown at him at an MLS match with no harm done. And yeah, it hurts the guy's team. And that should be taken into consideration. But, a lot of these players can be younger or just like that passion, right? That's what makes them good players. And so sometimes that causes you to make poor decisions, right? Getting red cards and doing a tackle or picking a fight on the field or just getting a little too aggressive in the ref's face. Like that passion comes out while you're playing, but it also sometimes comes out a little bit outside of that. He didn't damage this person. So I'd take it more as like he's not being a professional if he wouldn't just deck the guy or went and tried to find him in a parking lot or something, but he threw a ball at him.
Hold on, Monk. I'm reviewing the footage right now. I've got a better angle, and it looks like I'm reading the fan slips. It says, "Nuhu, it's my birthday. Can I have a ball?" What a great guy! Oh my gosh, that is so thoughtful because those balls are expensive, and you're not allowed to take them. You're supposed to give them back. Look at it now. We've gone from thinking this guy is volatile to now he's giving
really
probably.
Wait, hold up! I saw him autograph it as he was picking it up.
Oh, what a guy! Look, Nuhu, Jackson Travis, Wayne Frederick, you can come over to Red Card Soccer Club. I'm going to form that. We are going to dominate the opposition. RCSC. We'll get some merch made. I love it.
I appreciate your willingness to defend even the guilty. You two are a hoot. I do think it's worth noting
an attorney? No.
that both of those goals, both of the goals that Kansas City scored against Seattle were penalties, including one after Nuhu was removed from the field. So yes, Seattle still came off with a 3-2 win, but they did let in another goal, and I can't not believe that being down a man didn't play into that in some way.
Yeah, I mean, that just, to me, seems like now we're going to get to have the penalty conversation once more with our game in Seattle. Who's going to take it when we inevitably get a pen against the Sounders? Are we going to let Cole take it? Go back to Djordje? My theory about Maxu?
Well, time will tell. What other thoughts do you all have about this game?
I think we're actually breaking it down. Seattle at home are pretty stout. They're going to keep the ball. They're going to try and dictate the game. I think that actually works in our advantage to the way we've been playing to really try and counter punch them and then just put the pedal down to the floor. I'm like I was with Vancouver. I think probably inordinately high on our win probability for this game. What about you guys?
I feel it's going to be like we're coming off hot, and I think that's important. I think not only hot, but I think we were pissed off about the LAFC game, and then we had a great game against Vancouver, a strong team at home. My only worry is going those like back-to-back games in 10 days. That's really, really hard to come off of. And so like I still think we win it, but it's just they're a strong team at home though. They're a very strong team at home. Like we need Djordje to have that game again, and I don't think it's a 3 goals. Right? Djordje plays that well and we get a goal, maybe 2 goals out of it, and we're not as a dominant performance.
Yeah, I mean, I agree we have to play well, but I am also sharing Matt's optimism. I think that we're on a roll, but not just on a roll, but on a scoring roll. You take that LAFC game out, and we have kind of overcome that, like, can't find the back of the net hoopla we were in. So that makes me feel good when going against a Seattle that doesn't have Nuhu or Fry. We're seeing Seattle that's missing 2 of their big players in their back line against a Colorado that is really getting there and being offensive. So I'm optimistic about this game. I would feel better, of course, if it was home. I think Seattle, that supporter section, it really creates that home field advantage for Seattle. They show up big. And so I think it's going to take a good Rapids team to win, but I think we have a good Rapids team and I think we're going to win.
Isn't Seattle turf as well?
I believe you're right. I don't know the answer to that. I will say I've never seen a soccer match at Lumen Field, but I have seen NFL games, and the atmosphere and just the structure of that stadium feels like such a vertical arena that it's just electric. I do want to point out, because we talked about that Nuhu thing with their left back being out on a red card and our right wing catching fire over these past few weeks. Like, that's put one in the Rapids advantage column. I think Calvin Harris feasts today, tomorrow, yesterday, whenever you're listening to this. We also have some data because we have played Seattle already this season. We played them to a 1-1 draw in our house, and it was a 1-1 draw that I think we all thought we were going to win. That was the one Hoffa had a goal called off, I think. And I thought we're the better team on that day. We had 15 shots on Seattle, 1 big chance, 1.34 XG. We actually had more possession than them, which good for us.
No, that's usually how we lose.
Yeah, well, that's how we drew and would have won if not for the refs.
I'm sorry to jump back to this, but I find the answer really fascinating. So Lumen Field is turf. However, because the World Cup requires all games to be played on grass, they are transitioning it to a grass field just for the World Cup and then transitioning it back to turf afterwards. So it is
Thank
turf.
God they're
turf.
doing that, though, because I don't know how long you all been soccer fans, but I remember when they did that for a men's national game or something, and they put grass down, and I think it cost us Casey because he landed on grass, and the grass lifted off the turf, and like he tore a knee or an ACL or something because it was unstable on the turf. Like, that should be unacceptable. Like, the fact that they do that for World Cup because they want to play on grass, like, I almost think it's more dangerous. I honestly think they should just get rid of turf in all soccer stadiums. So put grass down.
For real.
Yeah,
well,
especially these multi-use stadiums, soccer and football, both sports hate it. I know when the Carolina Panthers announced that they were going to bring in the soccer team, Charlotte FC, they switched to turf just because they were worried about the upkeep and composition of the grass. Also because David Tepper wanted to make it a concert venue more than a winning Carolina Panthers side. But that's a story for a different day. But like, these owners have the money. The technology exists. I believe it's the Rangers or maybe the baseball team that has grass that they slide in and out of the stadium so it can get sun because they're a roofed stadium. Like, we could have trade grass. We could invest in these players and their health and their ligaments and just pay the upkeep cost. Yeah, I'm pro grass.
Well, I'm sorry to have gotten us distracted, but our boys will most definitely be facing turf this week at Lumen Field.
Well, I still think they get 3 points on it. I do hope they are careful. I know we've had some lingering soft tissue issues on the team.
I agree. I think we win it. Do we want to go to score predictions?
Yeah. Let's go to score predictions. Actually, before we go to score predictions, Scott Hammond, known Seattle-based Rapids fan, if you're listening, before I give my score prediction, I need your help. I need you to go down to the Seattle supporters section, and I need you to fuck around and find out so that one of their players gets a red card throwing a ball at you. You've got a mission, Scott. I think it's you should be willing to get banned from Lumen Field for this, so the Rapids get 3 points.
And maybe you'll get to keep the ball.
Yeah, because just say it's your birthday.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll draw that red, but regardless, what do you guys think for scores?
I'm going to go, oh man, I'm going to say 2-0. I'm going to try and be optimistic because my gut says 1-0, but I want us to continue the multi-goal thing. I think we need that to continue, especially with 10 days off. I think we need that hype to ride through that break. So I'm going to go the 2-0 because Stefan's going to be back in goal, and I think he shuts him out. I think he's just continuing his good form. Who scores? Harris. He's hot. He's hot. And I'm going to give the other one to Hafa. Normally I do Djordje, but I just think Harris is hot right now. The only other one I might talk about would be KDP, but I just think Harris is just so hot, and I think Hafa's coming in, especially after the PK.
Sarah?
So I'm going to go 2-1. I think that I think when I look back at Seattle's fixtures so far this year, I don't see a lot of shutouts on Seattle. I think that they do find the back of the net, and the teams that have been victorious are just the ones who are able to score more. So I don't know that we shut them out, but I do think...
Hold on. The people that are victorious just score more?
I'm here with the hot takes, Monk.
You know, I tend to find that the team that scores the most points typically wins the game.
Well, wait till you hear about golf, sir.
I would do the John Madden, you can't score the ball if you don't have the ball. But we saw Kansas City win a game that way.
Without taking a shot on goal. It was my favorite moment, I think, of MLS this year. I would also tell Nuhu that you can't score a goal if you're not on the field. So stop throwing shit at fans. To y'all's previous strategy. Okay, 2-1. I'm here for the most bland takes, I guess. I have to give one to Djordje, not just because he's an obvious pick, but I just think that he's been feisty the last few games. He wants to score. He had those misses, and then to get 3 assists but not get a goal, I think he's due for one. He's itching for one. I got to give one to Djordje. I would like to see KDP get another one. I think that we saw him really, really dynamic. Matt, I think I'm right that he was the one who scored the non-goal, or he was involved in the play against the non-goal that they didn't call.
Yeah, it was Hafa on a cross that KDP definitely put the center back marking him off balance, and I believe it would have been an own goal off the center back had it been appropriately called for crossing the threshold. But it was all from KDP making that marauding run.
Yeah, not seeing KDP on the score sheet to me is not indicative of his play lately. He has been fire, and I think it's just a matter of time. So I'm going to give it to him. On the Seattle side, Ferreira, I think I'm going to go with. I think Rusnak would also be a good call, but I know Ferreira got one recently, and he's starting to really feed into that team. So I'm expecting a goal from him.
I am going to go in celebration of the new kit, the original green. What's 9 minus 6? Can you do math, guys?
Maxu!
No.
What? 9 minus 6 is 3.
Sorry, I math badly.
Rapid score 3. I think it's going to be Calvin Harris for sure. I'm going to call 2 defensive goals. I think Reggie Cannon gets one because I think that that left side of the Seattle defense is going to be susceptible. And I think Cheeto Awazim sends the Rapids off into the sunset with a thank you goal before he travels to France. And then to call back to Sarah, I'm going to say that Seattle scores 1 because they are 1 foot above sea level. And Sarah loves to talk about elevation. And I think that one is going to be from a wily Jordan Morris. I think you saw Brian White was able to finally break the back line on the Rapids, and Zach had to make that miraculous save on it. I think Jordan Morris, he's always a wild card, and I think he sneaks one in. So I'm going 3-1 again, just like last time, which means 3-0. Rapids get 3 more points. Let's go. It's third kit season. We're going strong on the number 3.
I love the call back to elevation. You mock me relentlessly, and it's appropriate.
Hey, I listen to you. I'm here for you. I hold space to internalize the things you say.
To defend,
I learned so much today that if you score more goals than the other team, you win.
Here's what I will say, that Matt can suck it with his, a seaside team is 0 elevation. Have you been to Seattle? It is mountainous. And actually, I bet Lumen Field is way more than 0.
Mountainous?
Yes.
Mountainous? Can we talk about what mountainous means?
Oh my god.
In fact, it is 260 feet above sea level.
Whoa.
260 feet. That's almost as tall as the guys you want to play for the Rapids.
Sarah, did you use Google or ChatGPT for that one?
Well, I used Google's built-in ChatGPT functions.
I'm just imagining the Rapids announcer's voice and at center back, mountainous Seattle.
They
Hold
have
on,
mountains.
please, for a substitution.
Oh my
Sarah
god.
found the answer.
Seattle is mountainous.
Jesus. All right. Yeah, so Sarah's just gonna have us doing the BoJack Horseman, like just the kids on each other's shoulders with a trench coat over.
I'm going to get close to the mic to read this one. Seattle is uniquely situated between 2 mountain ranges, the Cascades to the east and the Olympics to the west. Additionally, the iconic Mount Rainier, a prominent volcano, is visible to the southeast. You're welcome.
This show has now turned into woman-splaining ASMR monk. Like, what has become of us?
Well, I like how she's like, it's mountainous, but she's like, it's in between 2 mountains. That does not make it mountainous.
It's mountainous. Oh my gosh. Y'all need to get out more.
It's a valley in 2 mountains, okay? That's...
Yeah.
Get out of here. Get out of here with that. We got to close out, though.
Anyways, if any podcasts are looking for a new host, I could be convinced to switch. I come with a lot of hot
She could
takes.
come up with great things. Like, you have to score more to win.
Yeah.
And not know how long a soccer game is. So,
I think on that note,
we'll take trades. We'll take trades. Matt
Where-
actually might get a Fitouri jersey, and then we'll trade her to France.
Oh yeah. Could you imagine Fitouri like woman's playing on some French soccer podcast? Pardon mon français.
Can you trade me to like a French baking show or something? Sorry, but if I'm going to Europe, I'm not doing soccer anymore.
You're not getting a Hollywood handshake. I've seen your baked goods.
All right, we got to get out of here, kids.
Sarah, where can we find you outside of mountainous Seattle?
You can find me at the Fitouri on socials and hiding from the public after this taping. What about you guys?
Matt?
You can find me at Matthew Wick on Burgundy Wave. You can always find me listening to Don Chicharron, the best band in Denver. They do our intro outro music. The song is Especial. They've got an upcoming banger of a show in August where you can find me. You can find me at the watch party at DNVR when we get 3 points against Seattle, and I'll be wearing this original green kit. Monk, what about you?
You can find me at Monk of C38 on Burgundy Sky, usually out at the tailgates or in South Bank, or hanging out with these two, causing trouble somewhere, somehow. Up the Pids.
Up the Pids.
Up those Pids.
Seattle is mountainous.
Tú tienes esa cosa especial, bella mariposa especial, ella con su rosa especial, todos quieren ese especial. Tú tienes esa cosa especial, bella mariposa especial, ella con su rosa especial, todos quieren ese especial.